Good evening. Welcome to the new party. I'm Nora Christine.
I'm about to give a really unpopular opinion, and I'm sure it's going to be especially unpopular amongst women.
I'm Gray Mars. Break a record by being with 100 men in one day. And right after she was done, she recorded a documentary.
I'm a vegan weed. Call yourself fresh and wear the same weak ass turtleneck on every show. Goddamn. Then we got goddamn the Sudanese Sambo. Bruh, man.
And I'm Enzo. Bringing up in my lives is they're like, oh well, he's violating the Constitution by having a meme coin and him making money off it in office and everything like that. I was like, if that was the case, like there would be lawsuits up the ass and impeachment inquiry.
I'm skeptic. Like I always say, don't let anybody trample on your constitutional rights.
I'm Mia. That's not a correct power dynamic in my mind. Typically, the people that are trying to be removed are not in control. That's why they're easily being removed.
Yo, that was fire.
Yeah.
I like that, though. I like that.
The person that's dealt with some people in the industry, I can personally tell you, most of them are bullshit. Most of them got something going on and they're crazy, and they will have you. I'm talking about they'll have you crazy.
Yeah, they look professional, bro. We look real professional.
Switch happened. Come on, man. You gotta acknowledge this. This is the problem that I have with elders like you, because you fail to acknowledge that this stuff has happened. We down. Hold on.
That mean I'm doing my job.
Hey. If we sit there and be old school, we gonna miss the boat. You know, a lot of this kids 19 years old buying houses with Bitcoin, buying Maserati.
Wow.
Welcome to the new party. I'm Nora Christine.
I'm Gray Mars.
And today on the new party, we're going to give you a brief Diddy update, as well as we're going to talk about the shocking results of the New York City mayoral race. A socialist gets the role. We'll talk about it. So Diddy misinformation is going out. First of all, I want to clarify a few things. Let's start with one thing. Diddy has declined to testify. That is not misinformation. He actually also told the judge something shocking yesterday. He stood up. He said, Mr. Combs, are you going to be testifying? He said, no, Your Honor, but you're doing such a great job. You're doing an excellent job. So he praised the judge, but he declined to testify. I honestly don't think he should have praised the judge, y'all, because for me, I think he's feeling a little bit too confident. You might have to appeal this case. What do you think, Gray? Would you have kissed the judge's butt like that? I mean, or do you think he did the right thing?
Well, as we saw, they kind of changed some of the charges. They didn't bring any witnesses. So it feels like they feel very confident about this case. So
right.
Showing respect and flattery will always get you far. So
Right.
I feel like Diddy made a smart move. Is better than being mean to the judge. I mean, he could have been not saying anything, but being nice will get you far.
True. But to clarify, charges were not dropped, guys. That is a rumor going around online. The predicate allegations were dropped, to clarify. He still has 5 counts, 1 racketeering, 2 counts of sex trafficking, and 2 counts of prostitution across state lines. So to clarify, the attempted kidnapping, the attempted arson, the aiding and abetting sex trafficking predicate acts were removed, but the core charges remain. So let's clarify that. Basically, the jury won't be able to take those predicate things into consideration when deliberating the case. So that is to clarify. That's a lot of misinformation going on. Charges were not dropped, just the predicate act. So they can't take into consideration the arson the kidnapping or the aiding and abetting. And frankly, those were some BS allegations that I felt didn't carry any weight. Gray, what's your thoughts? Are you shocked that they dropped those?
No. And if people want to go back to see what we said on previous episodes, we basically said that he wasn't going to get caught for the arson. I know that for sure. And some of those other charges, the aiding and abetting, we were like, okay, how's this going to stick? And I'm still standing by that it's going to be hard to stick the RICO on him. So I feel that way as well. Some of the other stuff, maybe, but I feel like it's going to be hard to say that he had a criminal enterprise.
Facts. Fair enough. I think that's a fair assessment. So yeah, I mean, did he do it? So let's talk about next steps. Next steps. Tomorrow, the defense and the prosecution will give their closing arguments. Friday, the jury will begin deliberations. We expect a verdict by Monday. So by Monday, we will be wrapping up our Diddy series. Very curious what it's going to be. I predict the racketeering is going to be not guilty, but guilty for the prostitution and the sex trafficking. What's your predictions, Gray?
I don't know if you had a video to play, but I want to play a video because
go ahead. Yes.
Basically, even if Diddy does get convicted, it seems like he has an ace in the hole. And I know everybody likes to say Obama was the person with Diddy, but guess who Diddy was actually meeting up with? Just take a wild guess.
Trumpet.
Well, final question. We're in the middle of the trial right now.
Right.
From your point of view, how's it looking?
It's not looking too good. I think they proved everything they need to prove. I think everything else right now is just lock and load. You know what I'm saying? From listening to everything that they got to say, I do agree that some of the things are everyday things, like what we talked about with the parties and people paying the first half. You know, that shit that everybody does as an artist. You know what I'm saying? So I think the same way we talked about sex trafficking, you know what I'm saying? I've always been an advocate with Puff on that one because I never believed he had the sex traffic. But if you look up what sex traffic actually means, yeah, you can charge him with it. You know what I'm saying? If you look into technical stuff, you know what I'm saying? But the everyday, so you gotta, in reality, you gotta lock up not just any artist, but you gotta lock up anybody that's getting money. Right. Because anybody that's getting money flies a person to where they at.
Right.
And ends up having sex with them and stuff like that.
Right. And not because they're trying to traffic them, but because, I'm busy. I don't have time to go out to Tennessee right now and spend a couple of days with you. I don't have any business out there. Why don't you come out to LA or New York? I'll put you in a hotel where you can kick it. I'll fly you back.
Right.
We're probably going to be having sex. I'm probably going to give you some money.
Right.
Send you back happy, and we can go from there. That's not sex trafficking. That's not prostitution.
Right.
It's typical, situationships. That we all go with, me included. I've had these over the years. Like it just is what it is.
You give a girl money because you ain't got time to be with them all day. So you be like, yo, here, go shopping.
Here's go shopping. Here's some money.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like I'm paying for the Ubers. I'm paying for the flights. I'm paying for the hotels. I'm paying for the meals.
Right.
Is that prostitution?
Exactly.
You know what I mean? According to the feds, it kind of is.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right. So that's what I say. If you get technical, then you could say, yeah, when you playing it at his level, because a lot of people feel like they don't have no choice but to do it. What he did with Cassie, to me, absolutely wrong. There's no excuse. There's no reason. Anything else that they charged him with, I don't know his business the way that the feds do. I don't know what videos and stuff they found in there to know what they actually have and stuff like that. But on everyday basis, from what they say, I would say labor, you definitely forced labor. You know what I'm saying? 100%. You know what I'm saying? The weapons, you know what I'm saying? So I do find things in there that they could say he's not going to go home. Even if you don't find him guilty of RICO, you're going to find him guilty of something on there that doesn't allow him to come home.
Yeah, what I think will happen is this. And look, personally, in the beginning, I said, well, I think that he's going to beat the RICO. He's going to beat the trafficking. He might get hit with the prostitution charges. They might give him a few years, 3, 4, 5 years at the most. And you scrape off the 85%, you scrape off the time served, and a few years from now he'll be home. But you're right.
We had that discussion too.
Yeah. We've had this discussion, and but you're right. You get more and more. You're throwing the kidnapping, you're throwing the guns. There could be a superseding indictment over the scratched off serial numbers. There is, the drugs. That there's, breaking into homes and everything else like that. You're using employees to engage in illegal activities, and it could possibly be viewed a certain type of way. But what I'm starting to think now is that the bigger plan is, okay, look, we're going to go through this. We're probably going to lose, but we're already talking to Trump right now about the pardon.
Mm-hmm.
And they actually even asked Trump recently.
Right.
They're like, would you pardon Diddy? He goes, well, I don't know. I'll have to look into it if he's being mistreated. What does that mean? Mistreated.
I used to go to Trump office with Puff all the time.
Really?
And
how many times have you been with Trump and Puffy?
5 times.
5 times.
At least 5 times.
At least 5 times.
The same guy that's his head of security now, the bald-headed, tall, Caucasian guy. That always runs to him when something is over there. Me and him used to sit down in front of the office and talk. You know what I'm saying? He's like, yo, how's Puffy, man? How's it? Yo, how's Trump? Yo, this, that, other, yo.
Oh, you and Trump security would be talking.
Yeah, we would be talking because they would be together for hours. You know what I'm saying?
Were you actually in the room or no?
No, I wasn't in the room with them. Me and him would be in front of the door. Whatever business they was talking, but he had an office right there on 5th Avenue in the building right there. He had an office right there. And him and Puff, I would always go over there with him, and him would be in there for hours, whatever they was investing in or talking about, blah, blah, blah. But I also would take him to the Trump Hotel, him and Cassie all the time. That was one of the places that they always went.
I saw Puffy and Polly walking into the Trump Hotel one day.
Yeah.
Yeah, I actually saw it with my own eyes.
Yeah, right there across from Central Park.
Central Park, yeah. Exactly,
in which Puff lives 2 blocks away from there. You know what I'm saying? On 55th and Broadway.
Yeah.
So, why are you going there for the weekend? Now we know why. Know. Yeah, him and Trump was really, really close. And that's why it kind of surprised me when Trump went the way that he did and Puff started going so hard against him. And I know right now he's wishing
Puff
that
was going against Trump?
Oh, yeah, he went really hard. I mean, they got video out there where they say, yo, we got to stop this man. This man is that doing, if he becomes president, we're doomed and this and that and the other. And I said to myself, I know he mad he made that video now. He did that commercial and stuff like that.
Hold on. I think 50 actually posted this recently. Hold on. Let me watch.
Trump gets elected.
Exactly.
I really do believe in my heart there'll be a race war. That's why this message is not just to Black people. You know what I'm saying? This message is to everybody. This man is really trying to turn us against each other and put us in a situation. America messed up.
You know what I'm saying? So seeing that now, you know what I'm saying? And that's one of the things that 50 brought up to Trump.
Yeah, he just brought up just the other day.
You're going to do that and he was talking about you. But I honestly feel like Trump is the type of person that won't take that to heart.
No.
You know,
you could diss Trump, and if he gets a use out of you later on, he'll just forget about it.
And he's, I wouldn't say this is his last term being president. He can't run no more.
Yeah,
so whatever he's do now, same thing with Jimmy Henchman. You know what I'm saying? Where he promised Jimmy Henchman clemency.
Did he?
Yeah, he promised Jimmy Henchman clemency.
Hasn't happened.
Yeah, it hasn't happened. But if you look up, if you go to Spotify and look up, if you just press up Jimmy Henchman and Trump right now, it'll pop right up. He actually spoke to his lawyer.
Okay, so now you've been screaming, oh, Obama was with Diddy. He's going to be on the Diddy tapes. Now you hear that Trump was with Diddy 5 times. And they were in a closed office meeting for hours and hours. And that Puffy, you're muted. And that Puffy would go to the Trump Hotel.
Talking business. There's a difference between hanging out and kicking it and talking business. So I don't agree. I think it's all business. Trump is a businessman. Diddy is a businessman. Him and Obama would kick it. And they say he had drugs, Obama shaped. I didn't say it. They said it. But anyways, We're going to get off the conspiracies because I thought you're not a conspiracy theorist. You're giving me conspiracy vibes. You've been hanging out with me and Mia too long. So we're going to move on and we're going to talk about actual business. Actual. So, who was the man that knocked Cuomo out? Let's take a look. I'm going to play this clip because it was a shocking upset yesterday because Cuomo was expected to win, but he got knocked out the race. Let's watch this clip of their debate.
The first foreign visit by a mayor of New York is always considered significant. Where would you go first? Left to right, Ms. Adams.
First visit, I would visit the Holy Land.
Mr. Cuomo?
Given the hostility and the anti-Semitism that has been shown in New York, I would go to Israel.
Mr. Tilson, where would you go?
Yeah, I'd make my 4th trip to Israel, followed by my 5th trip to Ukraine, 2 of our greatest allies fighting on the front lines of the global war on terror.
Mr. Mamdani.
I would stay in New York City. My plans are to address New Yorkers across the 5 boroughs and focus on that.
Mr. Mamdani, can I just jump in? Would you visit Israel as mayor?
I will be doing, as the mayor, I'll be standing up for Jewish New Yorkers and I'll be meeting them wherever they are across the 5 boroughs, whether that's in their synagogues and temples or at their homes or at the subway platform, because ultimately we need to focus on delivering on their concerns.
And just yes or no, do you believe in a Jewish state of Israel?
I believe Israel has the right to exist.
Not
as a Jewish state?
As a state with equal rights.
He won't,
he won't
say it has a right to exist as a Jewish state. Be very
clear. And his answer was no, he won't visit Israel.
I said that.
That's what he was trying to say.
No. Unlike you, I answer questions very directly.
All right.
My goal would be to take my first trip to Israel. My wife's life work in this area means a lot to our family, and it could coincide with my young son Miles' bar mitzvah, if you'd like to have his bar mitzvah.
Okay, but
So yeah, guys, pretty much I think that this is a precursor for what's to come in America. We have been purposely on the new party avoiding certain topics out of respect for sensitivity, but it's hard to avoid where we're at currently, Gray. I think what this was a message to Zionists that New Yorkers, people around America are done with them. What do you think, Gray?
Yeah, I mean, why would that even be a question when you're supposed to be taking care of New Yorkers? Like everybody went around the room and said, "Oh, my first trip's going to be to Israel. The first trip's going to be to Israel." I would think that only at the executive branch will we care about them working about foreign policy. For me, if someone running in my district started talking about what they're going to do on foreign policy, I'm like, "What are you going to do for us here? Like, why are you talking about that?"
Yeah. Also, guys, this guy's a socialist. He's a socialist Muslim. Let me tell you, MAGA, your Klan hats are showing. I'm sorry, but I've been seeing some messages. Charlie Kirk made some ridiculous message, and they're saying, "Oh, I don't understand. Why would you vote this Muslim in? Don't you guys remember September 11th? Bray, what's your thoughts?
I'm not surprised, and I read that MAGA is freaking out, saying that New York City has fallen because this guy is now the mayoral candidate. So it's just like they're just freaking out. The racism, I'm not really shocked by. And for him to bring up September 11th is completely based on race. It's not based on who the guy actually is.
True. And I'm sorry. I don't know if you've been watching the news. There's been acts in the Middle East, and it ain't been done to people. I'm just going to put it out there. There's been things done to children. We're going to just say that. Okay. And, I'm just kind of sick of the rhetoric. I don't think there should be any racism on either side, but I mean, it's getting a little too far of the hate of the Muslim hate. I mean, I guess it has always been here. It's now renewed. I think it's been renewed to be a distraction from what's actually really going on. I mean, Gray, what do you think?
I don't necessarily know if it's a distraction. I do feel like, some of our foreign policy is getting kind of strange. I mean, Trump just went to NATO, and I guess he had a great success with defense spending. So they're celebrating that. So I guess, and the leader of NATO thanked Trump for being so decisive with attacking Iran. So it seems like we're basically going into the military industrial complex again. And if the viewers don't know what that means, that's basically profiting off of war, building weapons, and having conflict in foreign affairs.
Facts. I mean, yeah, that's fair enough. I mean, you know, I want to show some more clips here. You have any other things to play while I look for him?
No, I wasn't prepared for this thing.
No, it's okay. 1 second. I will play something in a second. Because I want to show him. So he won by 43% of the votes. Andrew Cuomo came in second with 35%. Brian Lander was 11.6%, and Adrienne Adams, she was a black woman, at 4.1%. New York Adams, this is what Mayor Adams had to say. Let's watch this because he's the one that's going out. Hold on. Hold on. I got it here.
It's not just defund the police. This candidate, Democratic Socialist, he wants to freeze the rent. He wants city-run grocery stores, social workers to replace the police because that's going to help. He wants $60 billion of debt fund for affordable housing. He wants free buses, no cost for childcare, baby baskets for newborn, and a $30 minimum wage. How can someone vote for this?
He's a snake oil salesman. He will say and do anything to get elected. Think about this for a moment. He wants to raise 1%. He wants to raise tax on 1% of New Yorkers' high-income earners. As the mayor, you don't have the authority to do that. You know who has the authority to do that? An assemblyman, which he is. He wants to do free buses. He could have done it at assemblyman. He doesn't understand the power of government and how you must making sure you improve your economy, raise the standard of living, and this is what we've done in the city. And I'm looking forward to being on the campaign trail and showing New Yorkers we can't go backwards. And New Yorkers never surrender or quit. I'm never going to quit for the city that I love.
That is so interesting. You're in the position, so you know you don't have the authority to do that, yet he's running.
So this is what I want to know. MAGA is freaking out. The candidate is a guy named Curtis for the Republicans. Why not put the support behind Adams at this point, right? If they don't want the other guy to win, why not give a third party candidate the chance that maybe be the first in history? Maybe we'd see an upset. What do you think?
First, Kumo was the other option, the second runner-up. And this guy was accused of sexual harassment. That's why he had to resign as governor. So they really didn't give them, like, you know, these incredible choices. Nextly, like, the Democratic Party as an entire party doesn't have a true leader right now. And, you know, the Democrat establishment lost to Donald Trump and isn't really giving, like, real solutions. So, of course, once that happens, if you look at MAGA and you look at Trump, when you don't have a valid solution, you'll go to someone more radical. Well, some of that stuff, radical, $30 minimum wage to me is pretty radical. But I just think that he's telling a story that people want to hear, even if it's a lie.
Tell you guys some of the things that this guy supports. He supports ending cash bail, repealing the walking while trans bill, or ban, I should say, decriminalizing sex work, legalizing marijuana, permitting safe injection sites, restricting solitary confinement, and acting elder parole, re-enfranchise incarcerated New Yorkers, decriminalizing simple drug charges, repealing all mandatory minimum sentences, reduce maximum sentences to retroactive effect, repeal felony bump-up statutes, repealing sentencing enhancements, and end cooperation with ICE. This is who New York just voted in. And I'm going to say I understand why MAGA is freaking out. This is too far left. I personally think if you guys living in New York are smart, you will support Adams. Adams is the best chance you got. Let this happen. Let's send a message to the establishment, right and left, and say, let's have a third party candidate. That would be my thing at this point. I wouldn't even support, if I was a Republican living there, I would not even support the Republican candidate. I think Adams is the best chance that they got.
Adams has his own controversy with corruption. So, like, a lot of these politicians, you know, just don't have a clean personal record. So that's another thing that's, like, turning people off. New York is very much to the left. AOC is in New York. So, you know, is much more progressive than other parts of the country. So I'm not really surprised. Recreational marijuana is there already in New York. I think I agree with Adam to an extent when he said this guy's a snake oil salesman, because a lot of that stuff just doesn't sound possible. I mean, it sounds
Well,
like
you already have, like you said, the
yeah,
recreational. So what does it matter on the? No one's really dealing big marijuana like they used to.
exactly. So I mean, maybe he can accomplish some of that stuff, but a lot of that stuff is just a fairy tale.
Also, Florida and New York, I want to say we're sister states. Guess who had to weigh in on this? You're going to love this. Let me play this for you.
If this socialist mayor candidate wins in New York City, you're going to see real estate values skyrocket even more in Palm Beach, because people are going to get out of that city. As bad as de Blasio was, this guy is like going to be way, way worse. He doesn't think that you should have law enforcement in dangerous parts of the city, that you should send in social workers. See how that works out for you. It ain't going to work out well. So, you know, they've made a lot of really dumb decisions, and we've benefited from it. But if this...
Gray, what do you think about what he said?
He's the last person that needs to be speaking on this, to steal $20 million and give it to your wife. Nextly, like, if you want to talk about real estate, the main thing people complain about in Florida, which I live in, is about insurance right now and the cost of everything. So he's the last person that needs to be saying that. I think he's trying to make himself relevant, because he was relevant when he was going back and forth with Gavin Newsom. But I pretty much feel like the Republican Party and MAGA has moved away from him, and this is just a ploy to get in the headlines.
Well, I have to say, I understand where you're coming from with some of your points, but I agree with what he said. I'm like, oh, shoot, they're going to all be moving here now, and I hate when they come here. Let's watch the future candidate, what he has to say about grocery prices, and then let's see what you think about it.
Grocery prices are out of control. The cost of eggs and milk has skyrocketed. Some stores are even using dynamic pricing, jacking up the cost over the course of a day depending on what they can get away with. It doesn't need to be this way. I'm Zahran Mamdani, and as mayor, I will create a network of city-owned grocery stores. It's like a public option for produce. We will redirect city funds from corporate supermarkets to city-owned grocery stores, whose mission is lower prices, not price gouging. These stores will operate without a profit motive or having to pay property taxes or rent, and will pass on those savings to you. Grocery prices are out of control. The cost of eggs and milk.
So, Gray, what do you think about communism? That's pretty much what he wants to instill, by the way, because that's what they do in communist places. They go, they have government-run shops. You're given an allotment, and that's all you have for the day.
I'm completely against that, because, you know, we want people to be entrepreneurs. We want people to open businesses. We want capitalism. So you shouldn't be having a government come and like run a grocery store. What you should have is an enforcement. If a person price gouges, go and find them. Like, why do you have to like actually buy grocery stores? If there's a massive issue with people price gouging, find them every time they price gouge, because that's illegal. In Florida, we deal with that all the time during hurricane season. The gas will be low. They will try to jack up the gas, water, groceries. They try to jack it up because they know we need it during hurricane season.
Thanks. And I have another funny video for you. This is him as a rapper. Let's watch.
Go ahead, make a rap for your nanny. It's a rap. Get the guap, spin the rack on your nanny. Spin the rack. Come through, give a dab to your nanny. If you really feeling good, spin a track for your nanny. Go ahead, make a rap for your nanny. It's a rap. Get the guap, spin the rack on your nanny. Spin the rack. Come through, give a dab to your nanny. If you really feeling good, spin a track for your nanny.
How many New Yorkers are not charged? Free, free, free Palestine! Free, free Palestine! Free, free, free Palestine! Free, free, free Palestine! Thank you so much, brothers and sisters. I eat for water. Thank you.
So, guys, I needed to clarify what his ethnicity was. I was so curious. So he was born in Uganda. He came here. He's Indian, Ugandan, and a Muslim. We got three things going on here. He's an African Indian. Like, this is like so cute, including the fact that he's a socialist / communist. We will have our first commie mayor of a big city.
What I feel like, and I know people say like, "Oh, y'all blame Trump for everything." If Trump never existed, a candidate like this would have never come along. To me, even as a Democrat, this is wild. But like prior to Trump, you could have never like had a rap video with an old lady flicking off the camera and be like accepted. You couldn't have been just so fringe and wild, and people would say, "Oh, you know what? I want to vote for this wild person."
I'm not gonna lie, I kind of see why MAGA's freaking out. They can just keep the Islamophobia to a minimum, though. But I understand why they're freaking out. This guy sucks. Sorry.
I mean, I won't necessarily go. This is wild, but I feel like this is also like just marketing. I don't think he's gonna do 10% of the stuff that he said. I feel like he go get in there and become. And serious, I always feel like they say all
Move to the go Upper East Side. And that's it.
Yeah, they go and they become a part of the establishment. He's gonna say, "Oh, I'm gonna do all of this stuff." Then the next thing you know, he's getting paid, and
Like
then he
AOC.
just yeah, exactly.
Do you know that I talked about her on Nor Christine Live? Do you know that AOC has an office in Queens that's being run and nobody ever runs it? Nobody's there to answer questions. Nobody calls anyone back. And this was an article written by a nonpartisan newspaper where they attacked her.
Yeah, I was telling Kent that Trump turned into the entertainment industry. I'm not surprised, Nora, and I feel like even the impeachment thing was like just to get attention. Like some of this stuff, I feel like they're just doing whatever to get attention, and when they know that this is gonna make MAGA go crazy, and it's making MAGA go crazy, even though most of them live in rural southern areas. They still like have a say so in all these like big cities.
Can we talk about the hypocrisy? MAGA, if you're against this guy, you should feel the same way, in my opinion, about Vivek Ramaswamy. They're both Indian. They both aren't Christian. They both, are to me an attack in some way on our American culture. They're against it. Like he's the extreme case. They're both on extreme ends of the spectrum. I just feel like if you're going to sit there and attack his heritage, then you should be attacking Ramaswamy too, because they're no different, in my opinion.
Yeah, it seems to be that these days, especially now with all the immigrant talk, that race plays a big factor in who they want in government. It seems to me if you're not black or white, and if you're not white passing Hispanic like a Marco Rubio or Ted Cruz, they really don't want you in office. Even here, Anna Paula Luna kind of is like white passing. So it's just like it's a certain look that they want, and they feel like, I mean, race plays a big thing in politics, and people never talk about it.
Right. And just to be clear, I still love Trump. I still like MAGA. It's not an attack on MAGA. I just don't like I don't like the piling on that both sides do. And they're piling on right now. They're piling on Candace Owens. They're piling on this brown skinned Muslim guy. And it always happens to be a pile on for people of color. And I don't like that.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely uncomfortable. I mean, that's why I feel like at a new party where we have like diverse cast people talking about this is what needs to be done, and like to hear what minorities, regular people have to say about this. I do feel like whites have a fear of minorities in this country, and I understand why, because they're told that these people are taking your jobs, these people are going to hurt you. Like a lot of these people don't have contact with minorities, but they turn on Fox News and then they hear that they're the boogeyman. So I mean,
True. Fair enough. I agree.
So yeah, it's warranted.
Well, let's watch this clip where he talks about undocumented workers or immigrants right
Going to hospitals. How can you protect them?
Here's the thing. The Donald Trump administration will use the fact that they fund 7% of our city budget as leverage over us to try and give up whichever category of New Yorkers they are pursuing in that day. Ultimately, what we need to do is tell those same institutions we will provide them that funding, and we'll get that funding by taxing the 1% and the wealthiest corporations right here in New York State.
Thank you so
So what do you think about that, Gray? What do you think about what he says he wants to do?
This is what I don't like as far as the whole undocumented immigrant thing. The main people that are mad at Trump right now are corporations who are saying, Trump, you're getting rid of our cheap labor. And this is like when they come out and say, oh, we're going to tax corporations or do whatever to help undocumented immigrants. Corporations are the people who are benefiting from undocumented immigrants. So, I mean, when you say like a distraction, to me, the whole deportation thing itself is a distraction because the richest rich people in this country want undocumented immigrants.
Well, they keep feeding into it and they keep making it seem like it's a real thing, though. So I think both sides are using it to their benefit.
Of course, the Democrats are using it as an empathy thing. Like, these are people. How could you do this to these people? And then the right is using it as, white fragility. We care about you guys. We know these people are ruining your lives, taking your jobs, hurting people. We're going to get rid of them. Like, they both play identity politics. And that's why I feel like Trump won to an extent, because Trump does the racism doesn't exist, and people thought that sounded good.
Yeah. Well, I have another clip by CNN. Let's see what they have to say about the election results.
He did not win because he is a democratic socialist. And National Democrats should not take that lesson. He won despite the fact that he calls himself that. But the actual policies that he was talking about, I was known as a moderate Democrat when I was in office. I would have talked about many of those things, like free transportation, universal child care. These are things that can certainly unite the National Party. He did.
So what do you think about that, Gray? He's saying he doesn't think he won because he's a socialist Democrat.
I agree with that. That's exactly how he explained it. He won despite being a socialist Democrat. Democrats are tired right now. Joy Reid just went on the Breakfast Club and said she's afraid to embrace someone like Jasmine Crockett, but she's barely holding on to the party. So, like, the Democratic Party is looking for people who are going to take action right now. People that are just not going to sit there and just say, we're just going to go with the regular going on, when we literally have Republicans just doing whatever they want. I mean, I go back to Kamala Harris's campaign. The only thing I really remember Kamala Harris saying was price gouging, like he just talked about. That guy at least has some ideas. Trump was at least said, oh, tariffs, we will get other countries to pay for this. So, of course, we're embracing more fringe people because, at least they are offering some type of solution, whether it's true or not.
Look, watch this clip. He's doing an ad in
बात
Spanish. I
ये
believe.
नहीं है कि मैं क्या बनूंगा, बात ये
Or
है कि
actually
मैं क्या
another
करूंगा
language.
हमारे कम्युनिटीज के लिए और हर एक न्यूयॉर्कर के लिए। मैं हमारे शहर को अफोर्डेबल बना।
What is that? It's short.
What were you saying about it?
Oh, it cut off. My bad. Hold on. Sorry. It was really short. I don't know why I did that. My bad. It's really short. I don't like watching things in other languages, but he has it translated at the bottom. So let me go back here. Can you see it?
Yeah.
न्यूयॉर्कर के लिए मैं हमारे शहर को अफोर्डेबल बनाऊंगा। न्यूयॉर्कर्स मुश्किल से अफोर्ड कर रहे हैं रोटी, कपड़ा और मकान। मैं ये सब बदलने के लिए लड़ रहा हूँ। रेंट फ्री बसेस, यूनिवर्सल चाइल्ड केयर और सस्ती ग्रोसरीज के जरिए। पर आपको एक सवाल पूछना चाहता हूँ, तुमने कभी किसी को वोट किया? बात ये।
What do you think about ads in other languages?
I've seen it on my own TV. Basically, the Republican Party actually did a much better job during the last election with working with stations like Telemundo and Spanish radio. So lots of politicians do that. You probably just never seen it, or people don't see it because they're not listening to stuff in Spanish. But they all do that.
True. Fair enough. Well, this was a lot to unpack. I think I don't think it's because he's a socialist why he won. I stand on it's a message to the Zionist movement. He's an anti-Zionist. People are sick of it, and that's personally what I think is the reason why he won. I'll be honest with you, because I personally would not have watched this guy. I would not have voted for this guy. I'm sorry.
Yeah, but you're a Republican. Why would you even? You of course you wouldn't vote for him. You voted for Trump.
That doesn't necessarily mean I won't ever vote Democrat, but the option, the thing is this: if I'm in a blue city, I would vote blue because you're wasting your vote voting for a Republican. Do you get what I'm saying? But I would vote for the best blue candidate. I would not have voted for him. And I believe in certain states, everybody can vote in the primaries. Only Florida has it where if you're a party, you can only vote for your party.
I've never voted for a Republican in my life, and I live in a very red state, and I'm not gonna just vote for a Republican because I live in a red state. So
Well, that's your take. But I personally would not have voted for him. I would have voted for Cuomo in the primary, and then in the main election, if I was there right now, I would vote for Adams because the options are futile. I would galvanize the Republicans to get behind Adams because that's the only chance they have to beat this guy.
I would basically say Democrats don't really have the same thought process that you have. I think that basically with a guy like this saying that he's going to like make all these changes and then saying free buses, universal child care, all of that stuff is a big sell to Democrats because Democrats want the government to work for them. So that type of mindset is going to resonate with left-wing voters.
Well, they are the do-nothing Democrats. They do nothing. So I bet you he doesn't do any of that. Bookmark this video if you're watching. I bet you if he wins a year from now, it'll be the same shit, different day on New York City. You're muted.
I wanted to show you a video unless you had one left.
No, I don't have anyone. You can end on your video.
Okay, so I want to talk about Joy Reid talking about Jasmine Crockett.
Well, head scallywag. Wait,
I played that to give.
Say?
I'm not sure, but I played that to give you the Democratic mindset that they want somebody that's going to fight. They want somebody that's going to, ruffle some feathers, actually try to get something done. People don't know that's Joy Reid. She was on MSNBC, and like now she's saying that she would rather have Jasmine Crockett be the leader. But that's what I'm showing you with the Democratic mindset, that they're not gonna say, "Oh, this is like the best idea to get along." Most people who are Democrats are people who are rebels, who are going against the system, who are trying to like force the government to give something to the people. So it's a very different mindset, and that's why I think that mayoral candidate, the messaging that he was saying, that's why I feel like it resonated with left-wing voters. And I feel like the Democratic establishment is going to be changed because Clyburn was behind Cuomo. The establishment, the establishment was behind him. So now you're starting to see a shift. And I can't remember the guy from the Parkland shootings who was a part of the DNC.
The one who lost, who got kicked out as the chairman.
Yeah, he was trying to go against the establishment. And we saw this with the Republican Party where Trump went against the establishment. So I think it's now happening with the Democratic Party.
Wow, then that's exciting. Maybe I'll vote for them. But anyways, guys, we will be back at 8 p.m. We know the topic or not yet?
Oh, he's talking about sleeper cells. Let me see what he said. Sleeper cell, instinct, or hate. Is it racist to suspect a sleeper cell? What's your answer? Is it racist?
No. I think we need to be on alert. I think we need to be locked, loaded. I don't agree with Mia. I don't want a bunch of lunatics running around with guns. But at this point, if our government is not going to be capable and competent enough to take them out, I guess lunatics will have to run around with guns to keep us safe. Lunatics will be shooting at the lunatics blowing themselves up. I don't know what else to say. I don't agree. I don't think that people should be running around with guns. They are not trained shooters. They are not. That's what we pay our taxes for law enforcement. That's why we have a military. But I guess we've come to this point.
Well, a lot of the Republicans are two-way, so you're not two-way.
Yeah, I am, but I'm not saying. I feel like we should leave certain things to the experts. Like you can own a gun and not be a freaking expert.
For me, I feel like it should be like the type of weaponry. Like you should have nothing that like with so many bullets, like the extendo clips, like what else they had? I can't think of it. The switches, all that stuff probably need to be like not legal. But yeah, a guy just recently watching Fox News got a bunch of Confederate flags in his house, shot 2 Hispanic guys. So you got to be careful out here with the news. So I don't want it to be a situation where it's like, oh, it's being a sleeper cell racist. Thinking so.
Although I did see an incident yesterday. Let me find it, guys. I'm gonna tell. Sorry, because it was this.
Yeah.
It was an influencer that got killed by her ex-husband, and I want to show it
Oh
to
yeah, I
you.
did see that.
Mhm.
Go ahead, explain it.
So pretty much, homegirl was an influencer, and she was killed by her ex-husband. But off-duty cops had guns on them, and they took him out. Hold on, wait. Where's the clip? All right, I got it here. Let me play it, guys. Also, shout out to everybody watching. We have 18 plus people on. Please hit the like button. Hit the like button. We appreciate all your support. Let me hit this. Here we go.
Lot. Social media in a woman in the process of getting a divorce was tracked down by her estranged husband, who then shot her and her date here in this parking lot. Social media influencer and fitness coach Gloria Zamora inspired busy women to get and stay fit. But behind the strength she exhibited on camera, her personal life was taking a hit. Zamora spoke out about her pending divorce to her thousands of followers just last week on the Horizon podcast.
Instead of you being supportive, you're over here trying to like just bring me down.
On Saturday night, the 40-year-old alongside 43-year-old Hector Garduno was shot and killed outside a Fontana sushi restaurant. The shooting caught the attention of several off-duty law enforcement officers in the area who responded to the sound of gunfire, including an off-duty San Bernardino County Sheriff's deputy.
Apparently he was driving on the street outside of the shopping center and heard the gunshots and saw what had happened, made a U-turn at the light and got out of his vehicle to confront the suspect.
Lizarraga was shot and killed during the confrontation.
That is horrible, but pretty much thank God for an off-duty officer, a person with a gun, a trained person with a gun, and he took him out. It's just unfortunate that she got killed. You know what I mean? And honestly, mental health in this country needs to be reformed. It is much easier to get a gun than it is to see a mental health counselor, and that is scary.
Well, that was heartbreak. And I mean, you see, she working on her body. He couldn't imagine another man touching that. And what they didn't say is she had 7 children. They had 7 kids together. So they was leaving. So she was leaving, trying to go get another dude, and she thought it was safe to go date. I do feel like women got to take proper precautions when leaving a relationship, especially if the person is really hurt, because there was a case not too long ago where a guy, he acted completely normal. He was like, yeah, it's fine, we can divorce, it's a-okay, and then he still unalived the wife. So like some of this, like you said, mental health. So it probably should be like mandatory counseling when people get a divorce, so that people don't act out and can't. Because when you're with somebody for a long time, you can't see your life without that person. So it's hard to recover from.
Wow, that's tough. But anyways, guys, I want to say congratulations in order to Skeptic. Her sister had her baby. a beautiful, healthy baby girl. So she will be back Thursday night. So, we'll definitely congratulate her for that beautiful addition to her family. But we will be back Thursday night. I guess we'll be back here tonight again, talking about sleeper cells back to back. But we are getting off of the topic of Iran and Israel. We are shifting gears Thursday night. We will be talking about the pylon of Candace Owens. MAGA content creators was attacking Candace. She's saying that people are being paid to attack her. So we're going to dissect it and talk about the pylon that's happening of Candace Owens. Isn't it funny? She done turned her back on black folk, and these white folk in MAGA done turned their back on her. That's all I'm going to say. That's all I'm going to say. Gary, what do you think about that?
Candace Owens, I never thought I would be agreeing with you. Tucker Carlson, Alex Jones, Nick Fuentes, Marjorie Taylor Greene. The list goes on with people on the right that I'm agreeing with that don't necessarily agree with, taking us into a war. So I'll leave it at that. Like she said, we'll be back here talking about sleeper cells at 8 p.m. Please tune in. That'll be the Man Cave. And on Thursday, she'll be back with Candace Owens. Like we always tell, new party, always vote.
Always vote. God bless.